Well, we're at the Western Aircraft Museum. Looks like Addison Pemberton left his Boeing here. A few other things. So look around. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a little bit wider angle camera.
You guys can go one.
As far as I know, and then you got a drum and blues restoring too. Yeah, I know he had a speed mail. I guess he still got it. But then he's been restoring a drum and goose.
Yeah. And we got motorcycles.
He talked. They only built 80 of them to start with. Did you ladies want to share looking in there?
I don't know what model that is, but anyway, it's the one that had engine trouble, and they had to force landing in a gorge. All rebuilt now, though. Looks nice.
My camera is, my camera either gets too much light or not enough. Yeah.
We've got the prototype here over those of these.
And there's a lot of good cars. Well, mine seems to be doing pretty good.
No,
1931 Aronca on floats. Floats are as big as the fuselage. And there's the engine. Interesting. And there's the land model. (1937) a Ronca. I believe it was called an LC. (1930) Fleet. I think this is a one of a kind. It's a Dart. To my knowledge, that's it. And there's the Ronca Champ, my very first airplane. Hard to think back that so many years ago that was my first airplane. 1912 Curtiss. Boy. Okay, this is identified as a 1928 Villet Monocoupe 70. Interesting. French. Undoubtedly a very rare airplane. And here we are with a Funk B. Funky little airplane. Here we have a Pete and Pole Sky Scout with a Model A engine. Interesting. Well, one thing is the Model A could run slow enough revs to direct drive a propeller. Certainly an array of automobiles here, also motorcycles, different things. And this is called a Long Henderson, and I'm assuming it might be a Henderson motorcycle engine. Okay, this is a 1936 Arrow. To my knowledge, that's the only year they were made. Then again, what do I know? But the unusual thing here is the Ford V8 engine. It's identified as an Arrow, but I've always thought it was an Aero Sport. 1917 Jenny, 1918 Harley, and a Maxim machine gun. Curtis Challenger. I wonder what the difference between this and a Robin is. Have to look that up. 1930s Curtis R600 Challenger engine, and over here the Curtis Robin. (1931) American Eagle, and the 90-horse Curtis OX5 engine. Interesting piece of work. 1929 Command Air 3C3-T. 1928 Waco GXE biplane. 1929 Waco DSO. I never could figure out what all the Waco numbers meant, but they mean something. Here's the Wright Hisso engine that we heard so much about. 300 horsepower, but man, it looks like it weighs a ton. And another Waco called an RNF. A Waco CTO. Again, no idea how the numbers related to anything. And another Waco CSO. This is quite a collection of Wacos. And here's a Jacobs L3. Little 3-cylinder radial engine. An interesting one. It apparently has the Jacobs engine. It's a 1931 Spartan C2-60. 60 probably meaning the horsepower. We'll get a better picture of this. Look at this unusual landing gear. Man, it don't look like there's much spring to that. 1931 American Eaglet. Yeah, it looks like it would be a really fun airplane, doesn't it? And here's one that's known as a bull pup. The information plate says this was donated by Don Hicks of Santa Paula, California, and I'm thinking that that probably is Cleet Roberts' old airplane. That's what I'm thinking. Not 100% sure of that. Anyway, another look at the Eagle craft. Some more Wacos. A Waco, it's a 31, I believe, Waco A10. And boy, is that ever beautiful. And so is the next one over here. Wow. With a canopy yet. That is a beaut. Wow. A YPF. This one's a Waco UBA. And maybe someday somebody will explain to me what all the numbers mean in Waco talk. And it looks like we're in the Piper Cub row here on this side. Look over here. We have some more biplanes. Curtis Wright 12, Travel Air. A Brunner Winkle bird. 1931 Franklin Sport. Says 90 on the side, so who knows. Here's a little biplane, also called an Aerosport, and I'm unfamiliar with that one. But look at the long shock absorbers on the landing gear. Interesting. 1933 Fairchild 22, and we see the same spar landing gear oleo setup that we would see on the later model F-24. Well, pretty well covered the inside hangar here. Time to go to the next hangar. I just noticed something. One of the things that I did was to donate my banner stock to the museum. And there it is, hanging on the wall. Little Lycoming 65. There's a beautiful little antique outboard. A Neptune. Beautiful. A real assortment of antique guns. Russian, German, U.S. Army, M1 Grand. Yeah. Stein's Bakery. A Whizzer bike.
I don't see why they don't start remanufacturing those.
It'd be too expensive.
Probably.
It probably
And
wouldn't.
then all the
Wouldn't
safety
meet.
regs you'd have to have.
Wouldn't meet safety regs.
Right, it'd have to qualify as a motorcycle, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I had 2 or 3 of them.
Wizards, right?
Bike I never had. The AJS. Beautiful. 41 Telegraph BC12. And used to be a BC12 TD, wasn't it? That was a 46 model. One of the first high-wing monoplanes, the Cessna Airmaster, a C-165. 1939 Porterfield. Had a friend that had one. Nice flying. UC-78, 1943, Bamboo Bomber. Next to it, a PT-22, also known as the Ryan ST-3KR. Civilian. A UC-86. Now that's got me. That's got military for some reason. Interesting. Ranger 200 engine. Used to be able to buy these brand new in a crate for $100 after, well, in the 50s. A PT-13, which to my knowledge isn't much different than a PT-17, except that it has a Lycoming engine. Could that be the difference? 1941 Sturman N2S3, N2S2, N2S3 were Navy, and that meant that they had a locking tail wheel. Can't tell, but that might have a locking tail wheel. There's the F11 N3N on floats. That makes it awfully big when it's sitting there. Taylorcraft TG6 training glider, 2-seater. Quite a few cars. And some of them are pretty interesting. A Champ cycle. Now look at this. Got a little sidecar. Looks like it's a chain drive somehow. Boy, that's an interesting setup. And the ever-loving 56 Chevy. My first brand new car I ever bought. Nice assortment of really old trucks. Going back quite a few years. 1917. Little 4-banger engine. A lot of history there. 1919 Republic. Whoa. No front brakes. 1925 auto car. Man, it looks like it would get the work done. No front brakes. Be careful going downhill. A PT-13D. Well, does look like a Lycoming engine again. Looks like some gliders in the back there. Look, there's a Whippet. You don't see many of those anymore. Really nice collection of antique cars. A 1915 Trumbull Roadster. I'll bet that's the only one running. What do you think? 1912 Jackson Model 28. Why'd they pick the number 28? Could have been a 27. Really nice collection of older cars. 1912 Auburn. And here's an early model Franklin sedan, which is unique in that it does not have a liquid cooling system. It has a fan, aircraft type thing. And now for pure class 29 Packard Model 640 Super 8 Phaeton in beautiful condition. How the heck did they get that thing up there? Get a whole slug of antiques, Ford Chevys. '08 Stanley Steamer. Yeah, this looks like a kid's place. Oh, I forgot my old airplanes. I think that's a Culver V. Something like that. So we came here to see airplanes, but can't pass up these cars. A 1910 British runabout. Looks like a single cylinder engine. Sure looks like it. Interesting. No idea what the transmission is either. Yeah, like I say, we came here to see the airplanes, but it's hard to pass up the car collection. There are a lot of different makes and models in different years. 55 Merc 300 SL gull wing. It doesn't look to be in like pristine condition, but I'll bet that's worth a lot of bucks. 48 Ford Super Deluxe convertible, very nice. Yeah, they are beautiful. I wish I could afford one. Okay, an 1899 Locomobile steam car, which means that right at your feet are some little really hot cylinders running, and look at all the knobs, valves, and somewhere back here you got a boiler. Well, that's interesting. Well, the weather's not too good today, so it doesn't surprise me there isn't a whole bunch of airplanes flying in. Maybe we should open it. Yeah. Everybody. Serendipity Towing, Baker City, Oregon. What's that? Call Air? Would be a good banner tug. And all sorts of goodies. Airs were. Were they?
Not all call airs. Some of them had were more conventional.
Yeah.
I want to say the Call Air A8 had the big Pratt Whitney 985 up front and had it was more of a narrow fuselage, same deal.
Well, this is Terry Brandt's warehouse. of things to come. The reason we came in was mainly to see, not that there's much to see, but that is, we think, serial number 1 of the Stearman series that became the PT-13, PT-17, and maybe N2S, and all of the other variations that came from it, but serial number 1 prototype. Now, what model is this one?
That's the UBF.
UBF.
Right.
U being Continental,
Yep.
and BF being something else. B for the wings, F for the fuselage. The guy up front has to really get into that little door, and I suppose if you're young, that's pretty easy to do. Little more prime. Nice sound of the radial engine. Well, we had a really good time, saw a lot of stuff, talked to a lot of people. This is a 1929 Graham Page. Now here's something interesting, if you might look at it, Steve. This is 1929 with hydraulic brakes up front. And a lot of the cars didn't have any brakes up front. Okay? So that was a pretty good car. So anyway, we're in the foyer of the museum, and what do we see up here? It looks like a Curtiss Flyer. Well, time to bid adieu. March 8th, Saturday. The rain is going to come sooner or later. This could have been the opening shot, but it'll be our closing shot. Except now, we're going to find the old road and take it home.